before going to the market. That was a big bet. And I was actually having sleepless nights, that I was scared that, what if, everything I imagine is actually like not true.
To get that first customer, it's exhilarating. It's also like, is this even going to work? There's a million other olive oil brands on the shelf, but if I'm going to see Heraclea on the shelf, I'm going to be more drawn to it because I know that story.
Hey friends, welcome to Above the Fold podcast. I'm your host, Jess Servion. We're going to be talking about everything in your customer's journey. You're going to learn things about customer experience, brand experience, and marketing secrets that help you drive your brand success. So stay tuned, buckle up, and let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Above the Fold podcast with me, Jess, your host. This week, I'm joined by Berk Bahceci of Heraclea Olive Oil. Berk, welcome. Tell the audience about you.
I'm Berk, founder of Heraclea. We started the company in 2023. It's olive oil from Turkey, simply put, but there's so much more to it. It's a family-owned business. We do everything ourselves, like including actually growing the olives, harvesting them, pressing them, bottling, and then like until it reaches your table, we have our hands on the product. Um, yeah, that's it. Ask me anything and I'll answer all.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the olive oil, I do want to talk a little bit about your interesting past. So previously, you were a lawyer in the US and you walked away. What made you walk away from that pathway to the olive oil business?
Yeah. So I came to US. I was born and raised in Turkey, and then
Mhm.
I came to US in 2013 for college with the goal of becoming a lawyer here after I think it was Suits, the show that I watched back in Turkey, and then I was like, I'll go to the US, go to college, go to law school, and do all that
Yeah.
stuff, which I did, and then passed the bar, and I started working at a nonprofit in Washington D.C. on antitrust stuff like monopolies and all that things. But then I knew actually from the beginning that it was not a career that I will succeed in. I felt that from the day one of law school, but I don't know why, but I kept going. But then I always thought of like an exit plan because for sure that was not my thing. And then I realized I love cooking myself and spending like hours in grocery stores looking at like labels and stuff.
Mhm.
That's my thing. And I realized there's no Turkish olive oil in the U.S. And I said, yes, that's what I will do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how did your family, so moving from law to olive oil, how did your family respect that decision?
They questioned it a
Yeah.
lot. My dad um, didn't. He was like, "Are you sure? What are you actually gonna do?" But my family had owned olive groves even before Heraclea, so we were like somehow involved in this.
Cool.
And I proposed the idea of creating the brand and the business and doing some more investments, and that it will pay out eventually. And I think I convinced them, although they're not like they were not like 100% sure of the plan, but I think they saw the passion that I had for it, and then they supported me.
Yeah. Wow. That's really amazing. I actually want to dive a little bit deeper into like the family
Hmm.
history. So you said that there was olive groves already.
Yeah.
So what was your family business then?
Well, owning olive groves is not like so Turkey is a major producer of olive oil.
Yeah.
Literally everywhere on the west coast of Turkey, the Aegean Sea, the sea that we share with Greece. The whole region is filled with like olive trees. It's olive trees everywhere. So everyone owns some land with
Yeah.
like olive trees on them. We also happen to own some land. It's not like it was not a business at all.
Got it.
It
Okay.
was it was a
You just
land.
like inherited
Yeah,
this like
it was a land that had been owned by us. And when we decided to do Heraclea, we bought even more land, and then we built a production facility because the thing is everyone owns land but no one has a facility to process the olives. There's
Wow.
always a mill in some village nearby, and you take the olives to the mill, and they press it for you. They take 10% of the oil for themselves.
Hmm.
Like that's the cash,
Yeah.
the oil, and then you take the rest, and that's how it is.
Interesting. So you guys, so you produce and do, or I wouldn't say produce, you
Yeah,
grow,
yeah,
and then you produce it like through a production facility on your current land.
yes,
So you own like the whole.
yeah.
Wow.
Because it's important, because Heraclea is, we claim it's a high quality olive oil,
Hmm.
and to support that, there are a lot of like things in olive oil production that you have to look for to have a high quality olive oil. Like, you have to press the olives within 4 to 6 hours of harvest.
Hmm.
But if you don't own the facility, there's like a bunch of other people bringing their olives, and you're in a line, and you never press it within 4 hours. You wait like even sometimes a day.
Yeah.
uh, and then it doesn't make sense, like all the labor and hard work you put in, like growing the olives, harvesting them. These are like very expensive things, like capital intensive.
Yeah.
And then you come to mill and you wait for a day, and then
Yeah.
it's,
I mean, I love that approach. I love that approach of like owning it from growing to producing it. I think that's like a major differentiator both in Turkey and in the US.
yeah,
I mean, a lot of these brands out here just slap a label onto a product and then say like, I produce this and this is high quality. But if you really dive deep into like the sustainability and like the not even just the sustainability, the into like the history of olive oil and how people are producing it, it's
yeah,
exactly what you were saying. Like, you have to do it within 4 hours. Like, there's all these complexities that we as the consumer don't understand. So you think you're getting a high
yeah,
quality, but you're not actually,
yeah.
you know?
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, I told myself and my family, like my members of my family told, like, do we really need to build a facility? There's one, you know, over there, all that stuff. But if we're gonna do this, and if we will do this right, this is how it should be done. And we did all of that without having one single customer. Like, there was no customers, no buyers, no nothing.
You invested
We
like,
invested before going to the market. That was a big bet. And I was actually having sleepless nights. That I was scared that, what if, everything I imagine is actually like not true.
yeah,
I had that questions a lot. But it turned out that I was right, at least partially. It's going well.
yeah,
So I think it'll pay off, and this is a very long term business. It's not like you go in the way I do it. It's not like you go in, do this thing, and it becomes a hype, and in 3 4 5 years you like sell this to some big company. It's not like that. Where I'm in it for like 10 20 plus years. Like,
yeah.
that's how I see it.
Like, you're not trying to exit to
No,
like
no, no.
some conglomerate.
This is what I will do, and my goal is to, make Turkish olive oil really, uh, a top thing in the world of olive oil in the U.S.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I mean, I love that goal, right? Like, you're absolutely right. When people build brands. I wouldn't say everybody, but like, I literally was having this discussion like last night, right? Like, so many people build brands just to exit,
Yeah,
but they don't care about like the quality of the product that they're putting out
yeah,
in the CPG space specifically. It's really just like another beverage brand or another protein pasta or this, that, and the
yeah,
other thing, right? But I love that you're building for this to actually be like a bigger than you, and like, and also involving your family, and like this is like your multi-million dollar business that you're brick by brick are building.
yeah,
And I do want to go back to like the fact that you did say like, okay, it was sleepless nights, right? That's like absolutely every entrepreneur, right? When you have a dream, you don't know if it's going to work out, but at the same time, like, your approach to it is doing it right the first time
yeah,
rather than having to go back later and fix mistakes. Like, you're not moving so fast that I'm sure you're moving at some
We're
some
moving
things fast and
yep.
some things not, right? But like, from the production piece of it, from like just making a beautiful product,
Yeah,
you're not moving fast. You're putting things out the right way.
yeah,
I mean, that's how like you don't know this, but I'm also building my own brand right now. I'm building a sleep supplement,
Mm-hmm.
and I was currently in the formulation process, but I put a short pause on it because it's not right, and I'd rather get it right. So then in 2 years or 3 years, whatever, I don't have to go back and like reformulate because I missed something, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not just about sustainably growing your product, it's also about sustainable growth overall.
Yeah. I'll tell you something about this. My father always, that's like his sentence, but I love it and I live by it. It's start at where you want to end. Like it's like you see the end, and imagine like how you want it to turn out, and start from the beginning like that. So that's the approach we took. Like that's why we built something without having one single customer, because we want to be here, we want to look like this is our business, and then we came to day zero and built it that way. There was a time, so when before we launched, we designed a website and everything, and then they gave it to me. Okay, this is it, like press this button and it'll go live. And I looked at it and I didn't like it, and I said, I'm paying you guys for all your work, I appreciate it, thank you, I'm not turning this live. And I spent another 6 months to build the website that I think would better represent Heraclea. So, growing is very important, but I think it should be intentional.
Yeah.
Not for the sake of growing. Like I see companies saying like we're in 1,000 or 2,000 locations in like 1 year, like let's celebrate this. Yes, it's amazing, good for you, but I don't see that for Heraclea. I don't want that for Heraclea. I
Yeah.
would rather be in like a couple hundred stores that I know the owners, that I know that they know what they're selling, what is Heraclea. We spend time like educating even like retailers about the product, because there's so much behind it. It's not just a bottle and a label. It's a whole production behind it. 35 plus people overall working on making this product, like full-time workers, seasonal workers in Turkey. And I try to post the faces of these people on our Instagram and everywhere, like share. I am just the manager, like CEO of this company, and that's how I see it. But I don't like, there are real people making this, and I want to tell their stories as well. That's just as important as getting into a couple hundred stores for me, like putting those faces and names out there,
Yeah.
and actually telling people like it's so easy in the US, like everything is coming to us and we take it for granted. And everything that's happening in the world right now with tariffs and all that maybe like made us realize that the world is not like as easy as we think it is. That part of the business is also extremely important for me. Like there are real people doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think it's from a storytelling perspective, but like an overall brand building perspective,
Yeah.
right? It's like you can be the CEO of the company, but the people that are behind that company, the people that are in the groves, people that are producing,
Yeah.
the people who are, building your storyline, right? Like that's your company, that like you're in it together,
Yeah.
but I also agree with you that I think like from a tariffs perspective, we do think that like things are we can get things so easily,
Yeah.
like here in the US, but we take a lot of things for granted,
Yeah.
But I do want to go back to the packaging. So what I know we've talked a lot about like how producing the product, but I would love to hear the storyline behind Heraclea, like the name. How did
Yeah.
you come up with this name?
It's a name that's difficult to pronounce,
Mhm.
but it represents something that I think is very valuable for the brand, and which is it's a noun basically, Heraclea, and it stands for ancient cities built way back in the time. And it's just like a city basically, but
Mm.
for like thousands of years ago. And it's not. There are a lot of Heracleas in different parts of the world. There's a couple in Greece, a couple in Turkey, Macedonia, and in Bulgaria, and all that in that part of the world. And I think the name itself says that actually defies like borders. There are no borders. There Heracleas everywhere.
Yeah.
Greece have Heracleas, Turkey has Heracleas everywhere. Italy has Heracleas. So to me, it represents that like this part of the world is unified in some sense with its history and culture and its people. And in today's world, like we're trying to put borders and stuff to like separate us, but in reality, we're all in this together, and we have a shared history.
Yeah.
And that's why we put the name Heraclea. I think it gathers everyone together. That's a unifying name, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that. Wow. I love that. I'm like so shook right now. I love that because it's like your whole brand story, your like the naming perspective of it. And from like a packaging perspective, the minis, I don't know if you call them minis, but like the
Hmm.
smaller ones come in like
The tins.
smaller tens, right? And then the larger versions come in glass bottle.
Yeah.
Why did you not go the plastic route or other routes like that other olive oil companies are doing?
Yeah. So, in my opinion, uh, when olive oil gets in contact with plastic at any stage, there is a process going on that changes the taste and aroma of the oil.
Mm-hmm.
Not like it's not dangerous to your health, but it just I think degrades the quality of the oil. And even in our like entire production cycle, there's no point where the oil is in contact with plastic. we
Mm-hmm.
we completely avoid that. And the standard is, even if you don't put it in a plastic bottle, the standard is that at some point there is contact with plastic and pipes or something, but we avoided all of that because we believe this is a, like I said many times, it's a very high quality product, and the price speaks for it. And we back it up with everything that we do, and not getting it in contact with plastic is part of that. But if it brings a lot of value to the brand itself, in that like there's no breakages, no, it's less heavy, easy to ship and all that, it's all everything, like you would want to choose plastic
Yeah,
if you were a brand owner.
right.
But then you cannot, I don't think you can say it's high quality.
Right. I agree with you. I think you can't say it's high quality, but I also think that a lot of times people just go the easier route,
Yeah.
And like it's exactly what you said. Let's take olive oil off the plate or off the subject, but um, even in the beverage world, right? It's really hard shipping beverage.
Yeah.
It's hard shipping a can. It's hard shipping a bottle. Like there's a lot of breakage. In like other CPG products, there's shipping chocolate, like all of these things. But brand builders don't always think about like what goes into the packaging. It's always like the cheaper route of it, right? And so, and I mean, like beverage is completely different. It's like, what can you do? Like sometimes you have to ship in cans or,
Yeah.
or glass, but like just other products in general, right? Like you're completely right. Like utilizing plastic or these cheaper materials does chase the quality. It does change the quality of the taste, right? And
Mhm.
if you're in CPG, you want to like protect that taste as much as possible.
I mean, I get the smell, even like, again, not olive oil, like anything that's wrapped in plastic. You open it up, and then there's this initial smell of like the glue or like the plastic, and
Mhm.
I don't like it. I don't, and again, it's because we're not in this for a 3 5 year term. Yes, it's a big cost, like the glass bottle, and especially these glass bottles cost a lot.
Yeah.
That's why we did the tins, because based on our research, the tins are just as good as glass when it comes to protecting the oil and also not affecting its taste in any way.
Mhm.
So tin would be the last place we would go in terms of like changing the packaging to optimize for some things like shipping and packaging costs. But beyond that, I think that's a line we should not cross for Heraclea,
Mhm.
because then it goes into quality and other stuff that we want to protect no matter what.
Right. Because you're building for the long term, for
Yeah.
sure. So, we talked a lot about producing
Hmm.
and we talked a lot about packaging. I'm really interested of like how you started the business as a whole? Like, how did you get that first sale? I know that you did D2C first before retail. And obviously we talked about the website, but like, how was that experience of like, I've designed a beautiful website, I've designed a beautiful package. Then what were your tactics to get that first sale and how did it feel?
It felt amazing. I still
Mhm.
remember it. It was a friend of mine, whom I told about launching Heraclea, but then we didn't stay in touch until that first purchase. But basically, when I launched the website, I was constantly refreshing the screen to see if anything is happening, but nothing was happening.
Yeah.
We launched some ads, and just in general, I usually don't have. I have ideas, but I don't have like micro plans.
Hmm.
I usually approach things like on a very macro level, not micro. Um, so I didn't have like any specific tactics to get any sales,
Yeah.
but it just started happening, one by one,
Yeah.
and then it kept going and grew larger, and
Yeah.
it just happened by itself. Of course, like yes, we have a team now that's working on marketing, PR, and many other things, but it started naturally by itself,
Yeah.
which was very scary because like knowing everything that we did in Turkey, all those investments, and now like here you're actually like sitting and waiting for things to happen. Uh, but behind the scenes, of course, we work, uh, and it worked out. So there was no plan,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like
And I mean, that's
if yeah,
okay. Like it wasn't a trick question,
yeah,
right? Like in brand building in general, right? Like you can have this product, but to get that first customer, it's exhilarating. It's also like, is this even going to work? It's
yeah.
like taking you back to that moment, you know? How big is your team now?
Full time wise, I mean, we have two full times here in the US, nine full times in Turkey, and then with all the part time workers and everything, the Turkish team is like actually 30 plus,
Hmm.
especially peak harvest time when like we basically start working at 8 a.m. and go until like 4 or 5 p.m. every day. And then we have teams like with sales or marketing that help us, but not like on a full time basis. Um, so yeah, it's really not a huge team, to
Yeah.
be honest with you. But given the scale of it, I think it's a very it's deep in that there are a lot of like in supply chain, for example, like the production. You don't see a lot of brands having that many people working on its supply chain for production. I think that's what differentiates us, but it's a small but mighty team, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Well, I love that. I mean, startup 101, and I strongly believe in this that like when you're whether it's a brand or even a SaaS product, like any type of product that you're building, right? To stay lean and mean as long as you can.
Hmm.
And it's a different type of mentality when you are in the startup world, right? Like you're the CEO, but you're so close to even to the supply chain side of things, right? You probably dip your hands into a little bit of the marketing thing so you can make sure like the brand story is being told. And I think that that's a really important just in all startups that you like have people on your team who can wear multiple hats.
Hmm.
I see a lot of brands who hire so quickly and then you have people kind of just like I wouldn't say sitting around. Like nobody's really sitting around, but like if you keep your team scrappy and lean for as long as you can, people are more bought into that brand. They're more bought into like the responsibilities that they need to like run for your
Yeah,
company.
yeah. And I think since you mentioned marketing, at first it was me who was doing all the
Mhm.
socials, and then at some point we delegated it, and then the vibe of it changed, and some people noticed it. Like some of our customers actually noticed the change,
Mm,
and they said they preferred the previous version when it
interesting.
was like more like simple and genuine. Because like basically my posts were about like the story all the time, not the product at all. And then we got comments saying, well, it's completely the story and we don't see the product, let's do this. And then people said we like the story more. That's why we're here. Like we wanna, because who follows a CPG brand? That's
Just for the
like I don't really actually get like why people follow CPG brands if there's like no story to it.
yeah,
Like why? Like it's go to
yeah,
any grocery store and it's like you see all the products.
yeah,
There's got to be a story element to it
yeah.
for you to actually follow and keep engaged, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, absolutely. From like a marketing perspective and just like consumer behavior perspective, right? People attach to emotionality, right? So if I'm selling a product, like you have a beautiful story, but you have to infuse that emotionality for a consumer to be like drawn to wanting to pick that up off
Yeah.
the shelf, right? There's a million other olive oil brands on the shelf, but if I'm going to see Heraclea on the shelf, I'm going to be more drawn to it because I know that story. But if I'm just like some, I don't know, we're just going to say Sally Smith's like olive oil on the shelf, and there's no attachment to it, like I'm likely probably only going to pick that up because of like the price point, because I'm shopping that day for the price point.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to spend more in the premium space if I don't have some sort of attachment to it. It's interesting that you said that your customers preferred one way and then versus the other way. In those early days, how are you taking that customer feedback and like bleeding it back into the company? It was like, because I know you be running customer service by yourself.
Yeah.
So was it just you just like getting these anecdotes and then like bringing it back to the rest of the team?
Back like 2 years ago, I was actually, you know how they make flows in like Klaviyo for,
Yeah.
retention and all that stuff. I was doing them myself without any like automated flows, but to actually, like, I was writing to my customers saying, thank you for your purchase. It matters a lot to me, and then I ask a bunch of questions. What made you, want to purchase Heraclea? But I was doing that not to convince them to buy again, but actually like figure why in this whole world of products they chose my company. And it always came back to the story behind it, the family owned approach, the fact that there are like real people and we're sharing their stories. um, and I took that to the next level. Right now we're actually paying premiums to an bank account that's owned by workers. We're paying them like 50 cents per liter with 33.8 ounces
Mm-hmm.
of oil. They get 50 cents in their own bank accounts, and this is part of the fair trade program.
Mm-hmm.
I took fair trade certification because if I were to say it without backing up with any sort of certification, it would just be like it could be understood as a marketing claim, almost like greenwashing. uh, so the fair trade is very important in that regard. We're being audited for what we say we do. But like for every big shipment, container shipment, thousands of dollars are going to workers' bank accounts, and they get to they get to decide on how to spend that. And our goal as the company is to give them the skills like project management, financial literacy, and a bunch of other things to empower them to like really find projects that will change their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that we came to this point based on customer feedback, because customers said we love this of about your brand. I asked myself, how can we take this to the next level,
Yeah.
which is why we did fair trade, and I'm so proud of that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm even shook for that story, right?
Mm.
Like in a good way. Like I don't mean that negatively. Because I think it's not just what you're building is not just about like the story about the brand, the product about the brand, but it's also taking care of your workers
Mhm.
and helping them build their own careers out of this as well.
Yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
Part of the goal of the program is with or without Heraclea. So we just signed 11 farmers
Mhm.
that are like olive cultivators themselves. Until now, we would only produce olive oil from our own lands, the land that we own. But as we grow, we need to, grow also our supply chain, the supply of the olives in particular. And doing this without, again, lowering the quality is you bring in your neighboring farmers and you audit their farming to see if they match your farming, and if not, educate them on how they can do better farming so that they have better quality products. We're doing that right now, and these are people that have been producing olives for generations now, and we're trying to serve as a bridge between them and the US market. If we didn't exist, there are trade people, middlemen, that
Mm-hmm.
go to villages and just buy these people's products at like super cheap
And then
prices
put
because
high
they have
margins
no
on it.
one else to sell the product to, and they must sell it
Yeah.
because that's their livelihood. So we came and we said whatever the middleman is paying, we're paying double, first
Yeah.
of all. And the middleman like left the village, like basically packed his stuff and went because like I can't compete with these guys. This happened like last harvest season, and then we said that's happening, so you will be selling at a higher price to us the product, and then once we sell these in the US, we will pay an additional 50 cents per liter to this fund, so you get to keep your products proceeds, that's yours, but this fund as it grows, we will ask you to come and hold meetings and decide, together as a group on how to spend this money, and that's where we are at right now.
Yeah. So much empowerment and back into those communities.
Yeah,
For sure. I love this. I love it.
thank you.
I do want to go back to just marketing and you going talking about the D2C stuff because we talked briefly about you launching in D2C.
Hmm.
However, then you moved to retail. What was that transition like D2C to retail? Like how you briefly touched on this
Hmm.
about you wanted to know who's selling your product. How did you decide what retailers to go into?
So the switch from D2C to retail actually happened because our goal is, like I said, making Turkish olive oil a thing,
Mm-hmm.
just like Spanish or Italian olive oil. And I realized you can only do so much with D2C.
Right.
You have to be in places that people regularly go and shop at to, you have to be on the shelf to make this work.
Right.
Otherwise, it'll always stay small. Yes, it'll grow in an e-commerce perspective, but it'll not become. I don't think it'll become a thing
Right.
in the world of olive oil if you're not on shelf. So that's how we decided to get into retail, and then I started working with people, big name brokers, uh, only to realize that it's not working. So for some products it could work, but Heraclea is not, the goal is not to become a trendy product everywhere. Like I said, the goal is to be in places that matter the most and build on that with like growing the relationships. So I was lucky to come across some people that I really enjoy working with right now. And we build a list of like 1,000 accounts to initially target. And these are basically like co-ops and
Mm-hmm.
infra stores. Infra stores are like small independent grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some chains, of course, like larger chains. But then we started giving them a call, explaining the product. Would you be interested? Free fills, stuff like that. And then we supported them with like shelf talkers and marketing materials, demos, and all that. And that's what we're doing right now.
Interesting. And how are you bridging the gap between purchasing on shelf and then coming back to your website, to your story, and like just, I mean, I know it's really hard, but like overall retention.
Um, I think I'm sure there are brands that are tracking that, but
Yeah.
I think it's like very difficult.
No, it is. Like,
Yeah.
like I
But
promise
no,
you.
but they
Yeah.
you could I guess maybe put like QR codes on the bottles and
Mm-hmm.
like try to track that. But we have that communication with the store owner basically,
Mm-hmm.
because these are like small stores. We can give that person a call and say how is it going,
Yeah.
and then we get the feedback that way.
Yeah.
But whether those people buy again, I guess it's like as long as POs keep flowing from that store, it
Then
kind of
that's
tells
your,
that there's retention.
yeah. No, I
I
mean,
guess.
you're totally right, right? Like it is really hard to bridge the gap between being on shelf and then going into this digital world,
Yeah.
like the only real way to do that is like putting something on the packaging that you can like track like a QR code or
Yeah.
something like that. Um, well, as Heraclea grows, what is a non-negotiable for you on how you operate? Like let's look ahead 5 years from now. What is something you will never fucking change?
Um, a lot of things, but we will never outsource is one thing I will say. If at any point it comes to us that, like, someone says, well, if you outsource it or if you bottle it here and do this, and you're going to lower your costs by this much. I think Heraclea will always be at every stage of the olive oil production. I think that's number one. I It's very new, but I never want to leave fair trade program.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's non-negotiable,
Mm-hmm.
in some form. Sometimes things don't work with like certification bodies and stuff like that, but like the whole principle, the foundation of it will never change.
Mm-hmm.
Because I realize, there should be things in doing business that make you want to do more. And for me, it's like really talking with those people, the farmers and workers. And when I tell them, like, this happened the other day, I gave them a call. We were on a video call, and I said, do you know the island Hawaii? And they were like, where is it? We don't know what that is. And then I opened the map and I showed them Hawaii. This is Hawaii, like this, in the middle of like nowhere for you guys. Yes, and your product is now on shelf in Hawaii, and they became so happy.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to describe, but like, I'm working in two different countries, two
Yeah.
different cultures. Like, some of the people that work for us in Turkey don't even know like English. They've never been to States. Not Their knowledge of this part of the world is like very minimal, but like they look up to it. Like they like the fact that their products are selling here. And when I share these success stories with them, they the smile and the enjoyment that I see in their eyes, that's why I do this. I realized in that meeting, like, this is the whole the moment. This is why I'm doing it, not like for anything else.
Yeah.
Of course, the business should make money and all that, but like, for me, some priorities are like, my priorities are different.
Yeah. Yeah. What advice would you give to other founders and entrepreneurs from that are specifically in the food and CPG space?
Um, t- um, Start small,
Mm.
because that's tough. I didn't start small, and the way of it is sometimes like too much. Like, because you're investing so much, you have got to make some things really work early on. So start small. Don't like put too much on your shoulders,
Mhm.
if you can't take it. And then don't listen to everyone that tries to sell you uh, some future about your company,
Yeah.
uh, because like it's a very tough industry in my opinion. So be mindful of people you work with, and
Yeah.
question everything. um,
Yeah.
I do your own research, but also, like, if you feel like it, go for it. Like, don't give a fuck about what anyone says, because I had a lot of people telling me not to do this. uh I could have listened to them. I don't know where I would be. Would I feel as, satisfied and fulfilled as I am right now? I don't know, but I'm feeling very good right now about my company and what I'm trying to do. And I think that's, you have one life, like, that's very valuable. So, like, don't listen to
Yeah.
naysayers.
Yeah. I love it. And what do you think is next for Heraclea?
um it's a lot of things. We're expanding our manufacturing facility in Turkey right now.
Right.
That's so it's right now 7,000 square feet. We're doing 1,500. We're building, increasing our pressing capacity and all that. So that's on my mind right now, because really, as we grow, I don't want to outsource. I don't want to go that route. I want to be
Right.
able to produce everything within under one roof. So that's a project that I'm very excited about right now. It's just, growing with intention, getting into more doors, reaching more people, but like not for the sake of growing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's next for Heraclea.
I love that. Well, Berk, we are at the end of the road.
Thanks so much.
Can you tell the audience where they can find you and Heraclea?
They can easily find us on Amazon. It's next day delivery. It's amazing. I
Yeah,
use
we love
Amazon.
it.
I love it.
The one problem of American buyers. Now we have high expectations.
I mean, yeah, that's really good. They can also shop from heraclea.co. We have our new harvest launched very recently. It's been like a month. So the olive oil is very fresh right now if they order online. Or, depending on where they live. I don't know, your audience probably lives all across the
US.
US. So we're in Texas, we're in Seattle, we're in LA, just go. And if you don't see it, find the store owner and show them the website and say, I want this olive oil the next time I come here, and they'll give us a call maybe.
Yeah. Also, if you're in Hawaii,
Oh yeah.
you can purchase there.
Yeah.
Well, Berk, I really appreciate you coming on. And to anybody tuning in, we'll talk to you next week. Toodles. Dang, we've made it to the end of the podcast and you're still here. So thank you so much for listening to Above the Fold podcast. For the best of this episode and every episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram and my YouTube channel. And for deeper dives on the secrets to brand success, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, Sunday Postcards. All right, my dudes and gals, see you next week.